He says, if your donkey falls into the well on a Sabbath day, aren't you going to do something about it? Is that what you're trying to say to us? So good morning and you're welcome to the Daily Dose. On this episode, I bring you word from the Lord from Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 15. It says, our high priest is not one who cannot feel sympathy for our weaknesses. On the contrary, we have a high priest who was tempted in every way that we are, but did not sin. So Jesus actually raises the standard in terms of how our lives should be, because I'd always wondered that, to be honest, Jesus could have come in the most casual manner, because the real truth is that his purpose on the face of the earth wasn't to come and heal sickness. It was actually to come and die for our sins, change the entire course of history. His coming on the face of the earth, healing the sick and all of that, was an addendum. That wasn't his goal, which was why when he multiplied the loaves and people came back to him to say, you will become king, because he multiplied loaves. And he says, this is not the reason why I was here. In fact, they even tempted him to say, show us a sign. He said, I'm not going to show you a sign. So what he really came to do, and those things were born out of compassion. Most of those healing were things that were born of compassion, which is why when he said to that person, he says, if your donkey falls into the well on a Sabbath day, aren't you going to do something about it? Is that what you're trying to say to us? So most of the things he did were born out of emotion. He says that this person who is a true son, shouldn't this person be healed of this particular disease? So all of the things he did was out of compassion, out of sympathy for humanity. And so he is essentially touched by the feelings of our infirmity. He is the high priest who understood what it feels like to be tempted. People think it was a walk in the park when the devil came and says, bow down to me. It wasn't just a conversation that was pedestrian, because after 40 days and 40 nights, the man knew that this man was weak in his flesh. He was weak, he was vulnerable, and he came to tempt him with those things. So he had been there. He had been tempted with lying. He has been tempted with stealing. He had been tempted with every single thing, which is why when he says that Satan came and found nothing on the inside of him. And so we have that high priest who understands why or what we are feeling. It's the more reason why when we fail and when we fall, the first person to go to is that person. If you've never been tempted with fornication, if you've never been tempted with stealing, you really would not know what it feels like. If you've never been tempted with smoking or even drinking, you don't know what it feels like. You can even take a position of a judge and be judging people all over the entire place. But if you have ever been, you know what that struggle is. You will also have that empathy towards that particular person who is going through that. And this is what Jesus embodies as a person. So whenever we falter or we get into a place of sin, it's the right person to go back to. No, don't run away from him. Go back to him. He understands. He will help you. He will forgive. In fact, he has already forgiven, and so you can obtain mercy. And this is why we go back to the throne of grace, where we now obtain the mercy of God. He gives mercy freely because he understands what you went through or what you are going through. It doesn't matter what it is. All right. And I hope you will be able to do that today. If there is anyone who is going through any kind of condemnation in their hearts at this moment and at this time, this is the word from the Lord to you. He loves you. He really wants you back in his fold, and he knows essentially what you're going through. This is why he's also seated at the right hand of the Father, cheering us on and praying for us that there are certain things that we will be able to overcome by the blood of the Lamb. I hope this has blessed you this morning. Until tomorrow when I bring you another word from the Lord, keep sharing, keep liking, keep subscribing. I will see you. Blessings.